Today, on This American Dice, the governor has taken the steps to finally deal with her rival in the city, Bayushi. The Thunder Guard are there to raid his establishments, and what do the magistrates find? Fire and fiendish Oni. Find out what happens today on This American Dice.
At the moment, there's a bunch of kind of like debris and other stuff that's all over here. I feel that there's, on this side, and this is the bay, water. There's like a big, gaping hole. And as I've said, a lot of this warehouse is on fire.
Is that fire?
That's more debris.
Oh, so
yeah, I was thinking that too.
I drew a lot of pubes on there.
Yeah, debris pubes. Same.
It's more of a 70s warehouse.
So you're saying the
Fire
way
does not
in
stop.
and out of this place is through
this way. Through the
through
fire.
the hole that was
The gaping
blown
hole.
in the side. Yep. Because those are his exact words.
So, as you arrive...
Does that say at the top?
Normal?
Yeah, so this is the normal one. I have another one of with some other info on there for me.
Ooh. Oh, how cool. Look at you.
On my turn, how many spaces of movement do I get?
Yeah, how many houses worth of movement do I have? Because that's the only...
It's close, range 3, 3 square.
Alright, so you can hear the sound of fighting, you can hear the sound of screaming, you can hear that horrible bellowing. And there are, like I've said, there are some firefighters, the Moment's Edge firefighters, who are trying to throw water onto this. So the three of you are definitely seeing this. I think Aji is maybe in a slightly different spot. He's coming to this from a different direction.
Or from this way, probably?
So you're going around. The Emerald Cup is up here, so you're coming this way, whereas these guys are going up this way.
Well, it should be from this street.
No, this is the dock. You're coming from up here, from this street.
Oh, okay.
We're coming from down here.
Right, so you're just going to see a slightly different thing than these guys.
Did we see the monster, or was that the audience?
I think you can definitely hear something in there, but
The fellow.
You can do roll perception.
yeah, that sounds like you're trying to read the situation.
Sure. Thanks.
All right, so Taiyo rolled a 7 plus.
That's a 10, baby.
Plus 1 blackmail.
10.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Awesome questions. Well, okay, so what we know so far is it's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
There's fighting inside, and there's some kind of scary
You can definitely
screaming.
hear something that's not. There's something that's not human that's making that noise.
Well, what enemy is the biggest threat?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do catch a glimpse through a part of the maybe part of the wall collapses or something. Not quite collapses, but yeah, you're able to catch a glimpse inside this building. As you're looking through it, I feel like we just have a shot of Taiyo staring into this building, and one of the things that he sees is this terrifying lizard monster that's about 12 or 15 feet tall. However, it has a ton of tentacles that are on it as well. They're lashing out, and it's screaming, bellowing with horrible, horrible rage. So that's one of the dangers. A creature like this, and you hear people screaming. Maybe somebody near runs past your vision. It's just on fire. But you also realize that with all of the opium that's burning in this place, even regular people might not be able to make good decisions in part because people might be real stoned.
Mm-hmm.
And you've encountered that kind of before. Like when you were dealing with some of the Thunder Guard who like survived that fire.
Mm-hmm.
Where, they're just like, whoop.
So we came here. Why?
Because what's her name? Yoko Osaka was like, hey, yo, I have to tell you, we're going to arrest this man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, all right, well, they're going to go to that warehouse, so let's all go there.
Because they were going to arrest him here. Was the idea? Okay. And we haven't seen him, I don't think.
No, I don't think he's here. We came here because they said they were going to go seize his stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
Yoko Osaka, you asked her to go talk to go to Korchika's house and try to talk to him there.
Yeah, I kind of remember this. Well, let's see. How about, what should I be on the lookout for?
You realize that you hear some of this fighting, and you maybe see someone like you spot somebody, and you realize that the person that you just saw, there's several like Bayushi retainers that are here. You realize one of the guys you saw is always around Korchika, and you realize Korchika is here. And this is a very dangerous situation.
What said about Korchika not being here? That was wrong.
So that's something you should be out on the lookout for, aside from the demon. But also, how did this fire get started?
Mm-hmm.
And you remember, like, magic was involved in this whole process, and you're like, probably this again.
They should be on the lookout for magic fire in Korchika somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Magic fire, my favorite. Sorry, My Little Pony.
I guess what's the best way in? Or maybe way past this creature? No, way in, I guess, for looking for Korchika.
Way into what? Way into Korchika? I feel like if you just almost follow some of those, like that retainer that you saw that you always see with him, like almost like a bodyguard, like just follow that guy, he'll probably be near him. Okay. So just follow his bodyguard. He can't be too far away from that guy.
Alright, so I'm going to say that to these guys. First of all, oh my god, there's an Oni. That's terrifying. And I'll just assume this is way more chaotic, but like, just all the information I got. There's an Oni. Mm-hmm. Oh, Korchika's in there. We gotta get him. Hey, Shugenjo, you can deal with these, I assume. Have at him.
Yeah, get at him.
You did well with the last one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Better than I did.
Didn't die. We both did that, so pretty good.
You were specifically using my only means of fighting things against him and it not working, so I think you're batting above there right now.
Yeah, I guess I might say to do more in character, like, alright, Yugare, theoretically, that's something you can deal with, because we have to go get Korchika, because that's his main aid, so he's got to be in there.
I let the spirits guide me.
Aji and these two strong-armed firemen, they've been drinking a lot, and you are pretty messed up, so you're kind of walking maybe a little slower.
We have 2 jugs of sake with us.
Yeah,
oh my god!
I'm sure that these guys are definitely probably like drinking en route. And
they're in giant paper bags.
One of them is like singing a song, and the song is it's almost imagine those kind of like soccer, like a song somebody would chant at like a soccer game, but they take it where you can like take out certain parts to talk about like, oh, this team that sucks. They've done this guy's like singing that kind of song very drunkenly, but talking about the Moment's Edge firemen.
Alright.
And yeah, you guys are kind of passing this jug of sake either around or whatever it might be. And pretty soon, you can see the smoke of this for sure, and you can kind of hear some of the chaos off in the distance. But you're approached by a group of men. And that group of men are guys that seem like they're kind of surly, kind of big. You notice that they have, like, 1 or 2 of them have these, like, horns that they're wearing on their belts.
It's the horn fire.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they're called, but I know they're...
The Moment's Edge firemen.
Okay.
So, I don't know if Aji knows that necessarily, but I think there's a pretty sizable group of them. There's maybe like 8 or 9 of these guys, and
One is the song they were saying against the Moment's Edge.
Exactly. And I think one of them gets in that guy's face. One of these Moment's Edge firemen gets in the guy from the strong arm fireman gets in his face and is like, what did you just say? You don't know what, you're in the wrong area, asshole.
Alright, calm down. I'll say to the fireman.
And I think this guy kind of just turns and is like, this isn't your turf. So if you want to be here, you're gonna have to give us something. And another guy says, yeah. And
Give me those crutches.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, it's like give us your. Yeah, like pay up, assholes. And like, yeah.
Alright, I'll say, do you not see this badge? Point to my magistrate badge.
I think this guy just kind of keeps going with it. Either he like just doesn't respond to it or doesn't acknowledge it. And this is probably maybe a first for Aji of being like spoken to so crassly by a commoner. It's like yeah, let's have your you know what? You can give us your jewelry and those nice clothes, and you guys can be on your way. Otherwise, no payment, no ride. I don't have a good version of this.
It rhymes in Japanese.
I feel like you made friends with the wrong group of firemen. Just saying.
Just in their hood.
They're just horny.
Yeah. I ask, should you guys be somewhere else? Don't you see a fire over there?
I think these guys kind of like really crowd around you, and I think one even several of them grab like the arms of the strong arm fireman. Several more of them kind of advance on you, and they say like time to pay up. Like, pay the toll or get off the road.
Do what you do best, Aji.
You're buying on harm, right?
Yeah, I'm at 5.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it. Oh, you remember this, right?
Oh, I think one of the guys like kicks at your like crutch, not like hiya, kicks at your crutch, but like kicks it to just be like really illustrate the point that you're really fucked up. Do you want to try to tangle with 9 dudes?
Oh god, there's 9 of them.
Do it.
Great.
Well, I can't go violence.
Yes, I'm worried.
It's time to go diplomacy.
No. No. I think diplomacy is getting fun as shit.
Alright.
That sounds diplomatic.
First, I guess I'll read a situation.
Well,
Yeah. I go straight to manipulate.
Either one. I mean, it's certainly a dangerous situation, so reading it works. You just might get some very obvious information.
Obvious information? Is there obvious information?
the biggest threat is 9 guys on it.
It's pretty bad.
So, but yeah, either one. If you want to roll that, go for it.
I will.
Okay.
I would try to manipulate them by saying we're just here to see if you guys need any help. All right.
That's what gang members love to hear about. Gangs coming onto their turf.
We got an 8.
That's a 7.
7. Alright, so it's a 7.
Well,
Yeah,
good
so-
start.
So what is it you want from these guys?
Just let us pass. We're just here to help. We don't need not here to cause trouble.
Well, this is easy. All you got to do is just give them some concrete assurance. Give them
All your belongings.
Give them something they want.
I offer a jug of sake.
I think, in part because this is in response to one of your misses last game. This kind of is set up. I think that they want pretty much give us everything.
Fuck you, that sake is backwash in it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Is this negotiable? If I say I give them everything, there will be a consequence.
Well, I think that's the concrete assurance for them to leave you alone. Is that exact thing? They're
All right.
How much money do you have on you?
Alright, well.
It's a new session. One just appeared.
One disappears. I'll tell them, I'll give them everything, but tomorrow they're not going to like it.
Sounds like almost an intimidate check. Are you willing to kill them?
They want a concrete assurance.
So
I'll give them the money if they leave us alone. That's guaranteed, but the next day they're not going to like what's going to happen.
yeah, I think that they look at you and say like, you're not even gonna make it to tomorrow. Yeah. So I think that they want. Here's my idea with this: to have this be less kind of a boring of like, oh, a magic penny just magically appeared in my bank account and I give them this magic penny. I think like you didn't have any more wealth from before, so the stuff that you can give them that's worth something is essentially your fancy clothes, and so you're essentially going to be like, all right, well, crap, I have to give them my clothing, and we'll say that that's like worth a wealth.
All right,
like really nice clothes.
Yeah, it's like fancy crane stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. It works.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Am I naked?
I think you're like the equivalent of like hanging out in your underwear. You've got your swords and whatnot and your crutch, but you're just in your underwear.
All right.
How shameful.
At least I avoided a battle, I guess.
Sure.
Just take my clothes.
Yeah. And I think to kind of like really like hammer the point home, like one of the guys is like drinking from the big sake jug, and he's like, oh, here, I wouldn't want you to be embarrassed, take your jewelry, and he throws your like badge back to you. Oof.
Throws in a puddle.
Mm-hmm. Alright,
I know why you're trying to manipulate these people instead of threatening them with violence.
Yes, and I think that they
Come on. Don't answer anything.
they kind of like stroll off.
Singing that same song, but
against
the
reverse it.
damn, they're good.
Yeah, you just got mean girled.
Oh, let's continue going.
All right, and then so you're gonna arrive just from the opposite direction, whereas they came like more this way. You guys are coming. You're coming this way.
Is the two guys still with me, or are they?
I think they're now also just in their underwear. And,
they stripped them too?
yeah, they robbed all three of these dudes.
They don't have their clothes are worth nothing.
No, they took their Nikes.
Yeah,
That's a successful negotiate roll.
It's partially just to like.
Yeah, the successful negotiator role is you not dying.
It's only for samurai that we start counting money out of wealth.
Yeah. Everybody else has their Nikes.
Yeah.
Oh, were clothes distinctive in any way? You can trace it back to them later, maybe.
It's got crane emblems and stuff.
We're back at the scene. All right, with Taiyo, Ishi, and Yugare. And I think, Ishi, what are you doing?
Well, Taiyo and I were going to go run into our friend Bayushi.
All right, you
As far as I was aware, I was
okay. So you guys kind
this man has to do.
you're trying to head into the
Yeah, I guess.
this building or just around the front of this building.
Where did the aide go?
Sure, I think he went like around. You saw him like somewhere over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
fighting with people.
Try and get to him.
Okay.
It's obviously
You guys go to head that way, and I think Ishi, you hear the bellowing of that creature again. We kind of like have a flashback scene. It's years earlier. It's before Ishi's family's been killed. He's much younger, and he's out in the Shadowlands.
Okay.
And he and a group of like crab samurai you guys probably look like you've been wandering around for days. We see like a big, they call it a finger of jade, like a thing of jade that you've got like around your neck. The other guys all have the same stuff, and you see you guys maybe like move around an like a rocky outcropping of something, or maybe you're in like a wooded area in the Shadowlands, and like maybe perhaps looking like moving past like some spooky trees. I'm going to ask you guys to paint this scene a little bit more, but what tells us this is a place of dark power? And feel free to just set more of this scene. We'll go around the table with that one.
What was the question?
what tells us this is a place of dark power. Within the Shadowlands, it's almost perpetually dark and looks like night.
Dusk or no night?
Yeah, almost more like the color scheme is very gray and gross. The only thing that I think doesn't look gray is just the jade, which is slightly glowing a little, not like glow stick glowing. It comes back to your neon lights. So,
Really, the whole Shadowlands is just a rave.
yeah.
Maybe in the foreground, the
We just took the
creature
wrong roads.
slithers along,
Mhm.
and it's like a snake, but it's also got multiple spider bodies at different lengths along its length. So at the front of it is just the head of the spider and 8 legs, and then there's a foot of snake, and then another spider body.
Mm-hmm.
It's all one
Okay.
thing.
We see, some disgusting creatures slither by.
Little hands.
No, what if there's this little bush or something or plant thing, and there's just has these little maybe hand-sized fruit, but it's just dripping blood out of these fruit things,
Okay.
just collecting little blood pools everywhere.
Or to say there's this unnatural humidity, everything's sticky.
Oh, I hate it.
And
worst.
you're in Orlando.
Oh no, it's a wet heat.
Yeah.
It's worse.
I should have known.
before, but it's a dry heat.
You're talking about outside?
So I'm going to change the question slightly now to come to
It
you.
could be anywhere.
So all the things you described
What makes you the most horny?
are regular. All the things described are things that Ishi's encountered in the Shadowlands before.
Oh, so just fucking spider
all-
snake people just running around?
Not
I mean-
people.
So what identifies this as a particularly dark and powerful place? Something is different about it.
I would say all the corruption that you normally see in this place. I would say there's normally in the Shadowlands you see the normal creatures are all kinds weird disfigured in weird ass ways. Everything is multiplied by 10 here. Everything's extra weird. There's snake spiders. The trees are growing in really grotesque ways that almost seem fleshy, and it's just everything's horrible. There's kind of this sharp, almost copper smell in the air.
Okay.
It's super extra.
And we see a close-up on Ishi's face, and Ishi moves ahead, going into this, I guess it is a forest, we're throwing that in there, kind of moving farther into this forest, and we see kind of not only just a shot of his face as he looks determined, but we maybe see him move something out of the way, and we just kind of follow him moving for a little bit, and then he pauses, and he looks behind him, and when the others ran, what made Ishi approach the Oni?
This is younger Ishi, right? I
Yeah.
would say it was because he's headstrong and he thought he could maybe defeat it.
Okay.
Where his comrades are cowardly, he wouldn't be.
Okay, so we see these guys in the background, kind of behind you running, but meanwhile you're moving forward. All right. So I think you hear that voice that we heard sessions and sessions ago that woke you up, and you just hear
Oh, you want something? You're so hungry. I can feel it.
from this creature, and I think the vision of it looks somewhat similar like that, almost pile of rags, and it's kind of beckoning you to come closer and come closer, and it says,
So far from your wall, so far from your home. Oh, we're the same, you and I. I'm so far from the place I'm from.
I think we kind of have that shot, and then we cut to another thing. So this is after Ishi's family has died. This is after Ishi encountered the demon again.
Yeah, that was
At
in the
his- at his
flashback
house.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, at his house. So
so
that
this
was
is-
the first time was in the forest, the second time was at his house.
Yeah, so this is afterwards.
Okay.
Not the day later or something like that, but down the road. Ishi's now begun kind of traveling around, I think.
Okay.
How did Ishi manage to find the witch? And all of us can throw in on this as to build up this little story.
Which is the Shigata that
I think so, yeah.
so Shigata to hide in my Shadowlands tank sometime. And that's this person. How did I find her? I would say, for some reason, somebody in the, what are the names of the people that are the hunters, the witch hunters?
Just call them witch hunters, the Sukai Sagasu.
Yeah, I'm just going to call them the witch hunters. Yeah, the witch hunters. For some reason, Ishi had been, like, corresponding with them via letter, and they thought kind of highly of him.
Okay.
Even not having, like, necessarily trained him, and so they were like, oh, hey, look, there's this thing going on in this place. Go question the local Shugenja.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to throw in there? So the witch hunters have told Ishi to go, there's something that's suspicious, go talk to this local Shugenja. And in the end, this person's going to be like, I'm actually some kind of witch.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a folk tale or something that you have to, like, eat some weird, not maybe just weird to this culture, but maybe like a deer. You have to eat venison, and therefore you can see witches easier or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's some kind of thing like you have to go into the woods on the night of a full moon and kill a deer and eat its heart, and then that's the only way you can see the witch.
Yeah, I was trying to tie it back to the witch hunter guy that was eating a deer when we saw him in his cabin.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like, oh, this is the way that I could see witches possibly.
Okay.
Or talk to them or something.
Maybe people who travel near where this witch lives, like, feel sick. And I don't know how far out she is from, like, if she's in the middle of town or something and just no one knows she's a witch or what, but, like, at some distance, people maybe don't catch on right away, but rumors are like, yeah, I got sick near there too, and then it leads back to her.
Okay.
Somebody figures it out.
Alright. So yeah. So I think Ishi has found this witch. And I imagine that I'm imagining that this person kind of like lives like almost hermit-like. Kind of.
Hermit crab.
Yeah, as a hermit crab. So,
Okay.
Kind of like out in the woods almost. Or like in a cottage that's kind of in the middle of nowhere. And is Ishi going there to speak with this witch or to arrest this witch?
I would say speak first and then maybe arrest, but he's kind of got to figure some shit out.
Okay. I think when you show up, the witch who is, she's a very small, like short but old, kind of hobbled woman. Hobbled? Yeah, like kind of hunched over. That's the word, like hunched. And she kind of, she says, I could smell you coming from a mile away.
You've been warned of your tricks, woman.
It works.
Yeah. She says, how long will you be able to keep? Oh, she says, you're here to arrest me. How long before you're the one they're riding down?
What do you mean?
She goes, I can smell it on you, child. She'll just say, like, you carry the darkness in you. It's just a seed now, but soon it'll grow. Already you keep what you call sacred far from you. And you remember, like, you kept, like, the jade in, like, the saddlebags on the horse that's outside as you're in this, like, witch's cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, soon the weed that grows in you will no longer be ignorable. You can kill me today. It's only a matter of time, child. Only a matter of time.
What do you want from me, witch?
Ooh. So that's my next question is, what did Ishi give this witch?
Her life?
I think it's gotta be darker than that, though.
I got an idea if you can't think of anything.
Okay.
Remember in that other flashback, it was like, my father's, like, guitar that I never, like, I could never deal with it.
Center or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell it's called. Yeah.
Can you give
She
that?
wants that. She wants
That'd be like
relics of my ancestors.
Oh,
That'd be interesting.
Yes, you said a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Like, this is the last thing that reminds me of my father.
Oh, yeah. That would be kind of interesting. Oh, what if...
Take it a step further.
Good.
She was the memories of my father.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So, you kind of maybe you give her that thing and the shamisen, and you forget. Like she just takes away those somehow. Like those memories are just gone, and so like you can't. Like that's just like a void in your life that you just simply can't recall. There's like a fuzziness there that you're just like the kind of thing that your mind essentially, when you try to think about it, your mind is like think about something else instead, and you kind of like hop to another thing.
You show me that witch's face.
And then what does this look like when she does this? When she kind of like hides that he's bound to an oni? Because remember, until Matsu Shigeko's ghost started dealing with him, he didn't have any outward symptoms of being tainted. So how is it that it was hidden this whole time? It wasn't necessarily that he wasn't, but it was hidden. It wasn't detectable.
Well, she's got to perform the ritual.
Right, what is the ritual?
Take him out into the forest.
This is a taint joke.
Work out, guys.
He has to bathe in mud, which represents the taint. And then she has to use the flesh bark of the trees Branden was describing.
Shadowland trees.
Cover him in this like Shadowland tree flesh, and then it just grows a new skin over the mud to mask it. And then that's it. It metaphorically and literally represents the taint being covered and hidden away.
So like the
second skin.
Well, not really. It goes away after
Okay.
the tree takes on the symptoms instead of him or something.
Sure.
Sounds interesting.
He has more like a visual thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, so it's almost like a gross baptism,
Yeah.
kind of.
Baptism in mud and tree flesh. I like it.
All right. Ooh. Since it deals with this thing, I think she adds like one last thing to it. She gives you like a seed from one of the trees, from the weird plants that were just dripping with blood, and she tells you to go, basically to your home and like plant this in like a crack in the hearth of your home. And we see almost like a quick flashback of like over the years, every time Ishi's gone back, this plant has just gotten bigger, and it's just this evil looking, like almost Wizard of Oz kind of spooky tree that's growing out of the cracks of this house. So just to go to our weird metaphor that we keep coming back to about like weeds growing in the mortar walls. We flash back to Ishi's face as he's looking, and he can see like much more clearly this hideous demon. And Ishi has heard of creatures like this, and he knows that this is an oni. He feels like he's seen these or possibly heard of these, like from his time on the wall, and he knows at the moment he's not going to be able to fight it. Basically, like you've seen this thing like terrify and kill like a gang of men that were like seasoned warriors and that kind of thing, and this is this monstrous creature amid the chaos of this fire.
How tall are you?
Well, 16 feet, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever specify how tall you were, or just taller than everyone else?
Yeah, I think our whole deal is I decided to do come up with a few rules, and I think Ishi is always the tallest person in the room. And
this is the first time that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. There was another demon scene, another giant demon. That's the other time.
They're not people, so.
Ooh, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
all my jokes are crappy. All right, so
Build a wall. But we got one.
yeah, and you just hear the voice that you remember from your house, the voice that you remember that woke you up that night.
Demon voice?
Yes, exactly. Oni no Ishi is its name. So, and Oni no Ishi whispers to you basically like,
I can give you the power to stop that.
so
Ragman, right?
you hear this voice, and I think maybe as you're standing there, the flames are flickering, and like the shadow that you're casting isn't your shadow; it's instead that big like spooky monster.
Spooky.
And you just hear like
If you don't stop it,
basically it's
The fact that it's here is just going to draw more attention to you unless you stop it.
That sounds like a fucking recipe for disaster. I'm just gonna...
Don't worry, if you don't do it, I'm sure Yugare will.
Yeah, you guys got it, guys. I don't know, like, what is the deal I'm getting from this guy? Power for what? What does he gain? What does the demon gain?
So
What do
just
you want?
oh, I think it just
How much blood you got?
Yeah, it doesn't want blood. It just if you kind of accept this, it like makes your connection with it stronger, and thus its connection in the world stronger. So, and there's a role connected to it.
I feel like one of the failure conditions of that role is that Mr. Kunere finds out, or whatever his name is.
We're on endgame. We're fine. These characters aren't lasting much longer.
That's fine. That's fine. It's fine, just damn. Sure. I don't think Yugare could deal with it.
What is the thing that we as the audience see on Ishi's, like, Ishi do, or on his face where he like accepts it but so reluctantly, like you were just doing?
I think he looks at Yugare.
Mm-hmm.
And Yugare is still super fucked up, right? Yugare is still like kind of with a cane and everything.
He walks with a
The
cane.
cane's permanent.
Yeah, but
that's from last time, right? With
he's hurt, but he's not super messed up.
Also was getting sacrificed.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
He's not Aji messed up.
Aji must have. That man's also super fucked up. Look in Aji's direction. He's
I
not
do
here.
have 4 arms.
He's not better. He's still super
Yeah, I think
fucked up.
Taiyo has gotten like almost to the point where he's like away from you, like almost like rounded the corner. Yugare, you see that he's like carrying this cane. You look around and Aji's nowhere to be found at the moment.
You have a flashback to your encounter in the cave, and you remember that you lost that horribly.
Yeah, I remember fucking jumping in to try to
These
beat
the
the other
tentacles
demon.
of this monster are going everywhere, and you see it just like absolutely like eviscerate a Thunder Guard.
I mean, I don't know what else we would see on Ishi's face. He's trying just like kind of a distraught look, and then looking at like Yugare, and Taiyo's almost gone on another mission.
All right. Okay.
I have to roll plus.
So you're gonna have to roll plus bless, but
Should have known.
Bless you.
But if you take an additional rank of Shadowlands Taint, you can also add your Shadowlands Taint to the roll.
Shit, son, you free XP.
Yeah, shit, son. I thought I had to pass the line.
No, I think for Shadowlands, it's every time you do it.
Yeah,
Every taint.
Yeah, but I'm also at like a single XP, so like, gives a shit. You know?
Yeah, every Shadowlands you do.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good way to not fail the roll.
Okay.
I mean,
So then, okay. So then, yes. Then this instead becomes rather than a -1 roll, it's a +2 roll.
That's a good deal.
Okay, fine. That's gonna be like a fucking 2. Watch yourselves.
Not bad. You got a 9 + 2,
11.
11. Damn, pretty good. Okay.
Supposed to 12.
So we'll talk about this. Ishi is going to have the ability to fight this demon, whereas all these other people are not going to be are seemingly completely impotent against it.
Mm-hmm. This is not very special.
So, since you got an 11, you have to pick, though, one of these things.
Man, so those.
So the options are...
something.
Yeah, 12 is not. I don't have to pick anything.
Right, so the options are gain an additional rank of Taint, take on a physical symptom of Shadowlands Taint, take on a mental symptom,
Do that one? Why?
Maybe claws or something.
or take on a
Fucking claws.
those would be the worst. You wouldn't want to do that one, probably. But take on an elemental symptom of whatever your lowest
So,
element
Makes
is.
it very
Which
hard
is
to
the
write
worst?
poetry.
Mental?
I think that this one is,
Elemental?
yeah. Just because those are usually for, like, that's usually when it's like, oh, all right, and here are some of the options. And I will give you right here.
Just hit up some of these
All right.
options. This would have been a shit show.
So-
I just said gotten fucking everything.
So I have the second edition Way of the Shadowlands book, which is one of the cooler books. So here's all of these different mental and physical symptoms.
How is it rolled randomly?
They have it rolled randomly. I would say you can just choose it. Because
I assume it's not a
interesting.
minor symptom and more of a major symptom.
You can do either one. I think that we'll just maybe play up the minor ones more to kind of offset that. If it's like, my skin's really dry, it was like really dry. You're like Ashy Larry suddenly.
Oh, I could just get.
If you remember that
fucking,
character.
What's it called? Jesus. Saliva's red with blood? Is that minor? Am I minor?
I've got gingivitis.
Yeah, I'm still minor. Okay. Cool. And just open my mouth and go like, fuck. What's wrong with you?
I don't brush.
What's your lowest ring?
It's blessed. Whatever that ring is. Yeah, that one.
Void?
Yeah. Void. Character becomes restless. Memory becomes fragmented. I must roll to remember even the simplest details of my life. Spirit becomes confused. Spirit becomes unfocused.
Yes,
And then becomes completely immune to all helpful void magic. So probably just going to go with
the nose fell off.
character is overwhelmed by bloodlust during combat.
Oh boy.
Oh, good.
I have to make this is a totally different rule set, but I pretty much have to roll, or I will fight until all my enemies are dead or dismembered.
Okay, so you just become like a berserker.
The most dangerous one of all of these.
That's all my enemies.
Sure.
Okay.
That's also just Ishi normally. So that's kind of
Remember that one time when you hallucinated that the butler was your enemy?
Remember that one time when you didn't fight a demon in a cave?
Yeah. All right, so
it's only a roll.
you realize now that
Just
you have.
Ishi.
So Ishi realizes he has the ability to fight this thing. And I think we cut away to either Yugare or Taiyo.
I think Taiyo's just trying to follow that aid to get to Korchika.
Okay, sure. You come around to Korchika, and I think I'm going to throw Aji into this scene. You come around this way, and Aji, you see Taiyo running this way, and you see two men stumble out of this warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And the two men are Bayushi Korchika and Shosuro Jocho.
Who's that? Oh,
Governor's
Jojo,
son,
gotcha.
yeah, the commander of the Thunder Guard. And they kind of stumble out of this thing, and both of them already have their swords like drawn. And I think the two of them, you see like near you, Korchika's bodyguard is like just definitely dead. He's just been killed. And I think the two of them are like fighting one another. And again, you hear the screaming, the bellowing of the creature in the background.
Yeah, thinking, you're surely handling that.
So we're all here simultaneously?
The two of us, at least.
Yeah, I think these guys are somewhere like more over here dealing with this, or maybe actually not there. More you guys came this way and can look in. More of this stuff burned down, and maybe this door that had been blocked up by a bunch of trash opened up through the midst of this, and so you can see this creature inside of it.
Are there any firemen here?
Yeah, you'll see some of the Moment's Edge periodically trying to put this out, but they're kind of also terrified of what's going on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would say, alright, Korchika, come with me if you want to live.
Solid.
So I think he's in the midst of fighting Jojo.
Alright, then
Yeah.
I guess I'll be like, Jojo, stop. I guess I'm gonna just, try and get him to stop.
You don't want to go fight them?
No,
You want to get stuff in that
sure
fight?
don't.
No.
I think that they kind of like have their like the two their swords against each other. They're doing that kind of thing where they like are pressing against each other.
I'll just be like, enough.
And Jojo just says like he's under arrest.
You're not gonna arrest anyone if this building falls on top of you.
Ooh, are you trying to manipulate him?
Sure.
All right, go for it.
I mean,
Provide some concrete assurance that the building collapsing on top of you.
That's the final some of the threat of this building.
All right, we got a 7, no 8,
10.
10.
12 would have been so good.
No, not everybody needs to be your lifelong friend forever. That's
I only have one.
ridiculous. You can't be everyone.
Yeah. I think that Jojo he kind of takes a step back and he just says like to Korchika surrender.
Oh yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the promise I give him. Jojo, I'll say, I saw the warrant. I'll handle this from here. I don't know, like I promise you that I will escort him directly to the prison, the civil hall holding area. Like, you have my word, and I'll look at Korchik and I'm like, I'm sure you'll come with me while we get this sorted out.
Ooh. And here's why I brought that thing up earlier. These dudes are fucked up.
You're right.
Yeah. I think Korchika is now like isn't super into that. He's real like hazed out of his mind, and is having a hard time like almost listening to you in this capacity. And he still seems like he's interested in fighting, and I think he starts swearing off some like yelling off like curses and whatnot of like against Jocho and against the governor, and just like that they're basically like they're rats, they're crooked, and that they're like traitors, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna tell him, like, you're not going to do anything arguing on the street. You have to come to the city hall with me while we get this sorted out.
And I'll jump in. I'll just add more distance between Korchika and Jocho. All kind of naked.
Mm-hmm. So a man in his underwear shows up.
Shows up, takes out a sword, and is like, "Hey, back up."
So is Aji getting involved in this scene?
Yeah, not verbally, just physically.
He looks worse than everybody else. That like he's like all fucking bleeding and shit. Like the other guys look rough. Aji looks rougher.
Did you get like cut in the stomach too? Like,
yeah, he's all
you had some
bandaged up
wound there.
He's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And now it's like
Yeah, so Aji is in his underwear basically. He's got his swords, but he's in his underwear.
But he has so many bandages, so he's basically clothed.
Yeah, it does kind of look like he's wearing a shirt, but just like a weird shirt that just almost like a corset.
Like a nipple?
Yeah.
Just love the fall.
Yeah.
What?
How much have you been drinking?
The opium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so you get involved in this. Are you trying to accomplish something?
I'm just assisting Taiyo, trying to defuse the situation, and this is pretty much what I can only do.
Oh, like in case either of them try to attack each other again?
Yeah. It's like a scorpion matter.
I mean, it sounds like you're almost trying to like threaten with violence.
I'm trying to stop violence.
By threatening with violence, yeah. It's a good strategy.
Stop fighting each other or I'll attack
well
you.
for me.
It's like when people like get between you and get between two people fighting just to add more distance, so less chances of things happening. Is that threatening?
So, I guess if that's all you're doing and you're not willing to like utilize violence to do this, then you're definitely not threatening with violence. We could say that you're trying to defy the danger of this taking a really nasty turn from these
He's good
guys.
Yes, I am.
Go for it. So I think the danger that you're trying to defy here is essentially like this fight continuing to go on.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's
That's like a 14.
that's like a 14.
Oh, is it a 14?
Yeah.
Oh, pretty good. So you had this advanced?
No.
All right.
Why would you?
All right. Yeah, you get in the way of this stuff, and I think Korchika kind of like backs down a little bit, and we see he's like, and again his face, he looks like he's kind of only halfway, barely present, and he's like heaving a bunch. You've never seen him fight anybody. He's not incapable, but he's not. Whereas Jocho's supposed to be like 23.
Yeah.
Bayushi Korchika is a man who's at least in his 40s. And then we hop over to what Yugare is up to.
Yeah.
All right. So, Yugare, you see this creature, and there's tentacles flailing all over the place. You saw it eviscerate that same Thunder Guard that ran up to it from before. But this thing is inside. At this point, some of the some of the Thunder Guard that were trying to fight it and now finding that that's not a possibility are trying to flee through some of the flames.
Is that mostly what it's doing in there? It's just like killing all these people who are attacking it?
So yeah, anybody who like attacks it, it fights. You'll see that they'll stab it with swords and it like screams about that. But then often will like really badly hurt that person or just kill them.
Is it like breathing fire?
No, it's not breathing fire. In fact, it looks almost like a weird, wet amphibian kind of thing that's covered in scales and slime. But the fire doesn't seem to be phasing it at all.
I think I want to do this, ask the kami for guidance. I think Yugare is standing there like, I guess this is my job. Guess this is what I've been leading up to, although I don't think I'm ready, but everyone else is leaving. Ishi's still here. Looks a little creeped out, though.
His nose fell off. So what is this called? This is called the kami for guidance?
Wisdom of the kami.
Okay. What does it do?
You may ask the kami for guidance. On a hit, you will ask the kami. It's kind of like read a situation with different questions.
Okay.
The questions are related to God. Mm-hmm. God. Go for it.
Alright, so you rolled an 8.
8
Plus 2 at least, right?
2 is 10.
Pretty good.
So I'll ask 3.
What element is this Oni weak to? Fire?
Poison type.
Oh
Fighting type.
What is hidden from me?
What is hidden?
That's a bad question. It's a bad question.
What?
The people that caused the fire,
because of the demon.
yes, the people that caused the fire, and the person that caused this fire, and the person that summoned this Oni are not the same person. That's the thing that's hidden.
That's weird. Alright,
So these are two
alright.
different. You realize like this fire, like you get a sense from the kami that like this fire was created with magic, but just regular magic from someone who isn't
It's not demon magic.
like evil or demonic or tainted. Meanwhile, then there's also this Oni who definitely was the exact opposite of that. Like someone very evil and powerful summoned this.
What is the greatest danger threatening me or my allies?
Probably it's probably this demon at the moment. A combination of this demon and just that this is a big old fire, and if you guys are trying to do something in this building, it's going to be pretty rough.
At least it's not Shadow Instinct.
But the demon is the greatest danger?
Probably.
And most importantly, what is the will of the gods in this situation?
So the gods want this creature. This creature is an abomination and should certainly not be here. It was summoned through dark powers by someone who's very, very evil, and doing away with this would please the gods.
Well, then Yugare's path is clear. I'm gonna have to try to strike it down.
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
O kami, strike down my foe.
All right. I think before we do that, I want to give Ishi the opportunity to jump into this scene since he went with the deal. I don't want to be like, oh, Yugare killed it.
I'd be like, I didn't believe in him. Why did I believe?
I wasn't expecting to one-shot it, but you do have flashback priority.
Flashback party, yes.
So, I think we see him, and he's making these realizations.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even we hear his like a voiceover, like kind of monologue of like, wait a minute, this demon was summoned by someone other than the person who created this fire.
It's all wet. Fire isn't wet.
Or maybe
What's up with that?
there's some hints in the room of like different people. I don't know.
But so we see that. What does Ishi do?
Well, I mean, the demon's in the burning down buildings. We'll say she goes in the burning down building.
Alright, so you're gonna does he just rush headlong? Like, what do we see as the audience?
Oh, yeah, he definitely just, like, rushes headlong, and, like, this kind of opened up his head, and so he's, like, going through past burning debris piles and running into this burning down building.
Sure. Does he have a sword drawn, or is he just like gonna go wrestle it?
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Just wrestling.
Yeah, so we see Ishi just running towards this creature, and the creature kind of like turns somewhat toward him and bellows this hideous scream.
Comes after you.
Is this one advanced?
I have threat and violence advanced. Can I threat and violence against the demon?
Stop right there.
Hey,
you.
don't.
Beef.
Get out of here. Go back home.
I'll punch you.
I'll get you. Get scared.
It's so close.
7.
It's just a 9.
It looks like a tyranny.
So it's 9. I get to choose 2. I always inflict terrible harm. Because I'm a Hida. So I will suffer a little harm, and I'm going to go with seize what I want.
Okay, what is it that you want? Oh, shit.
I want my role in this to be understated, but I don't think that's something I can want from this demon. So, other than that, to make it
to get it to leave.
Yeah, or die. Anyway, or understate my role.
Okay.
Like maybe a fucking log.
So you're doing an extra damage, and then how much damage do you normally do with your katana? 3, right?
Yeah, something like that. Is that all the inflict terrible harm does? 1 extra?
Yes, that's an extra. That means a lot in this game, or in these games. Alright, so before when Ishi had attacked the flying demon in the moon cave, his sword like hit it and just sparks shot off of it. You knew before that if you attacked this thing, you weren't going to be able to do anything to it. And yet now this definitely does something. How does this look, and how do we even just know from watching this, if we hadn't seen the earlier scene, that this is really different?
I'd like slice its arm off, but it's... I would say instead of... Normally, like, whenever a character pulls out a katana, one of those things, like, the katana's, like, gleaming and, like, super shiny and bright, and it's just, like, dark.
Okay.
Like, there's no light glinting off it from the fire or anything when he goes to swing it at the Oni.
Ooh, okay. I have another idea that might be too much. What if when he pulls it out of the Seiya, it just already has blood all over it?
Jesus.
It's bloodlusty.
It just already has blood like on it, and then we see that and he strikes through this thing.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Okay. I didn't know if that was too like wacky.
It's pretty wacky, but it's fun.
Yeah, this creature absolutely screams, and the tentacles on it are flailing wildly, and one of its arms has been lopped off, and I think the arm continues to do like that lizard thing where like the tail wiggles around, like the arm is flopping around and like just spasmodically. And yeah, Yugare, this happens like while you're staring at this demon, like trying to figure out what's up with it.
You didn't take any harm from that?
Oh yeah, I mean technically.
Chose suffer a little harm. How much do I take? I also have 2 armor.
Oh, you're probably gonna be good.
Yeah, you probably are good.
I'm a strong boy. That's what I do. I fight things. I mean, it seems like I'm a detective, but no.
What's your harm?
Yeah, you don't take any harm.
Arm's at 2. Wear armor, folks. It's real good.
Yeah.
It's real good. It saves you from a lot of bullshit.
I was wearing armor.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
They stole it right off my body.
But that could actually be an interesting thing. Maybe you had been wearing your armor. I think
I thought I mentioned I did because
you had brought it up, but it would be weird for you to be doing that. But whatever.
it's not like battle armor. It's like it's more than
It's my Under Armour.
Yeah, it's my Under Armour. My undercarriage. All right, so yeah, I think you're not hurt at all.
So I think Yugare sees that and he's like, "Oh, I'm off the hook. Maybe I can do support."
Yeah, and you look at this arm that's on the ground and it's like flopping around, and you like look back at Ishi, and he seems fine. The creature's screaming and it's so enormous, and you look down at the arm again, and the arm is way smaller than it should be for this creature. It's like almost like it doesn't make sense that it's like you looked away, and like as it kind of flops and kind of stops moving, it's now just like real tiny.
It's like a shrinky dink.
It done shrunk a dunked.
Like a regular human-sized arm,
I'd
or
say
like a
maybe-
baby arm?
Like a small human's arm.
Oh, not a baby arm. Good shake off.
Like a midget arm?
Nothing going on or something.
Yeah,
Like a child?
sure. Like a small
Like maybe
human arm.
Maybe.
Compared to like this giant, muscly, scaly arm.
Does it look the same or does it not look like a human arm?
No, it doesn't look like a human arm, but it's shrunk up.
It's because of the fire. Put the shrinky dink in the oven and it's smaller. Well, I would like to use the spirit within and call a kami to hopefully help Ishi.
Okay.
Rather than pull down a lightning bolt into a burning building, my ally inside, maybe try something else.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh no.
It's a 6.
That's a nice, easy experience.
Nice.
6
All right.
does not have any description in this move. So, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that this creature, as it like bellows in pain, it tries with its other arm to like swipe at Ishi with its razor sharp claws, and instead it hits one of these, like a support beam in this building, and a bunch of the stuff kind of starts falling down on Yugare. And I think he's going to have to make a roll to just defy the danger of not get crushed by part of this roof. And it's like, yeah.
You just have this
I just had an experience. I could retire this character and start rolling.
He just sits down.
He sits down and is like, okay, I did my best, guys. Tried to kill the demon. Guess not.
Good night,
Wait.
everyone.
I timed it out like that too. If I died, I would get the last experience point.
Defy danger?
Choose an attack.
Is that what you said?
Yes. All right. So 5 plus.
Plus minus 1.
Nice. All right. We get another experience point.
This is why we don't know. You're right.
But yeah, I think that just we see this happen, and just part of the roof just falls on him. Meanwhile, Ishi, you had wanted this thing to leave, right?
Or die, but yeah.
Or die. All right. I think once it knocks this, I'll say this whole corner of the place is just absolutely wrecked. It totally collapses. It starts to head back towards the bay. It starts to try to run for it. It's kind of this lumbering creature, and it goes to head towards the bay.
That's where we're at.
You guys are right?
Now you're up here, in front of this.
Oh, that's good. Oh, so
We're fine.
are really Yugare is trapped underneath the burning beam.
Mm-hmm.
How's that
yeah.
bloodlust going that you just got?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, how's that going?
Oh yeah.
Is that anything I have to do with?
Yeah, for sure.
I can roll to get out of it, I believe. But
Okay, but yeah, this creature is heading that way. You see that a huge part of the roof collapses onto Yugare, and this creature goes to start heading out.
Go save Yugare. I think I'm gonna go try to help Yugare.
All right, so I think we got to have you make some kind of roll about this bloodlust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think we could just do this as a love roll, but where you add your Shadowlands taint to your love and make that. So it's it'll just be tougher.
That's really hard.
Oh yeah.
I think it's not impossible yet, but it's getting close
That's kind of interesting that it's sort of accidentally the taint thing just made your love
That's why I chose it.
yeah.
That's why I chose it.
So now
That's the only reason I
your
chose
love
it.
is tainted.
What? No, don't do
So
it.
6 plus.
Oh, it's plus 4. If we do
We say it's
what's on
plus
there.
Yeah.
If you do
You can say
love plus Shadowlands
3.
taint, it's plus 4. It's just pretty difficult.
Plus your love and taint.
That's what he said, but it's just pretty difficult to deal with. Pretty,
That is a tough one, because
that's only I can only roll 2 or 3 to not.
if it was just plus 3,
Then I could also roll 4, which I haven't done.
so you roll together, it's 10 at the moment. If we have it as plus 4,
Yeah. Which I only rolled a 6, which is normally a miss, so pretty harsh room, if I'm going to be honest, but...
Either one, the big thing is usually that you abandon your allies.
Yeah,
That fictionally makes some sense.
Yeah, so I think kind of like the thing that would make the most sense to me is just in Ishi's head. It's just like he can't even think about it. Maybe he doesn't even notice it. He doesn't even think about Yugare in this case.
I guess I'll go kill the demon.
All right.
I'll chase after it. It's cool too, I guess.
So you're chasing after this thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you're going to have to make a defy danger roll. The danger being that it is able to escape.
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
Shit.
Yeah, only a 5.
All right.
Wow. I rolled that. I would have made it.
Yeah, you'd have made it.
All right. Crap. Okay, so...
Do I mark a love roll for failing my love?
No, I don't think you
You
do.
only mark it if
You
you
mark it
fail.
if you
Yeah.
do what roll under.
So I think, you go to chase after this thing, and...
The hand you cut off.
I like the idea that there's
It's my hesitation.
one of these. I like this idea, and tell me if you're down with this or not. One of these Bayushi retainers, who's real messed up, gets in your way, and you get in a fight with this guy and kill him. But it slows you down just long enough where you're able to see this creature leap into the sea, and from back here as it's running, you're like, what the hell? And you see that this thing wasn't 15 feet tall. It's only 5 feet tall, and it's this puny, shrimpy little weird thing that
Are we all on opium?
looks like this. And it doesn't have any tentacles, and it just jumps into the water. And it only has one arm.
That's Kermit the Frog.
It does look a little bit like if Kermit the Frog and the Gill Man had a common ancestor.
I'll do this fucker.
Hi-ho, Gilman here.
Thank you.
That creature leaps in there, and you're just I think covered in black Oni ichor and that Bayushi samurai's blood, and you're just staring at the water.
City of Lies is Toan as Kakita Aji, Branden as Hida Ishi, David as Bayushi Taiyo, Andrew as Agasha Yugare, and Austin as your Game Master. The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco. This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice. Hey everybody, if you could please rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher, it would really help This American Dice. And for every 5-star review we receive, we'll read it on air. Join us next week for another episode of This American Dice.